Good evening. I would like to give a guided meditation about gratitude. So we were chanting the first part of the evening, chanting recollection of the Buddha, Dhamma Sangha, short, just the first part. But what that is a kind of introduction into gratitude. So what we bring to mind is that it's very fortunate to have come across the Buddhist teachings, to have the opportunity to understand them deeper and deeper. We start maybe with the first understanding and a lot of questions, and then slowly things sink in. So the Buddha we can remember the Buddha as a historical person, but we know that Buddhahood is going beyond the person, beyond what is personal. And we can experience that which is beyond the personal ourselves, and that is present moment awareness, what we call the knowing. And for most of us it may not be as deep as the knowing of the Buddha, but it is there, and we don't need to measure it, we just need to become aware of it. So consciously become aware of what we can see, hear, smell, touch. Taste and think. But this awareness is not just a sense consciousness, it's becoming aware of the sense consciousness, which is changing. And if we step a bit back, we can observe the changes in consciousness. So that is referred to as the knowing, or the Buddha, that which knows change, that which knows our reactions to what we experience. The painfulness of it or the joy of it. And then slowly the experiencing the insight that if we don't have control, then it's actually not anything which I can believe that it's me or mine. So that is an exploration in meditation. So I would suggest that we start just with what is given in this moment, becoming aware of what is most manifest, and that's the body. So if you sit comfortably, you will feel the ground under your feet, under your legs, under your sitting bones. The ground may be the mat or the zafu. So that is what carries the body, what supports it, what we can take as a given in this moment, and what we can relax into. This is why we like to meditate, because during the day we do this and that and go from here to there, and often with a bit of pressure and a lot of aims, what we want to do, a lot of judgment. And we can let go of that for a moment and just go to the awareness of the body, how it is held by the ground, how we can feel that it's received by the ground. So whichever parts of the body are touching the ground, you will feel some pressure there, because the body has a weight, there's gravity. And if we agree with that, we can relax into the ground. Kind of give the weight away, give the tension away. Become aware of the rising of a feeling of ease when we allow ourselves to be carried by the ground. Nothing to hold back. And you may notice that the body has a tendency to find some comfort and balance. So there may be a movement, not really voluntarily, but there's a kind of bodily intelligence which steers towards balance. And how do you notice that the body is balanced? That you are sitting in a balanced way? So if there's balance, there is less muscular activity to keep upright. So the body is well supported and can rise from there, feel uplifted, feel more open for the breath to flow. For the breath to flow freely. When the back finds its own uprightness, it's not like a stick. It's something very, very alive. So, with the out-breath, you may feel a movement down into the ground. Giving away weight. So that with the in-breath there is a lifting, an inner uplift, which you may feel as a slight rising and widening in the chest area. And when you take time to allow the tension to flow off and the lightness to come up, the uplift, you may also notice that the neck responds to that. The way you balance the head on top of the neck. Or the head is balancing itself on top of the neck. So there is no doing involved, more a noticing. And the only effort we really make in this situation is not really what we usually understand with the word effort. Doing something, distinctly to get something. No, it's more the effort to remember, to let go. Allow the body to relax. And to allow to feel the positive effect it may have. Just the lightness. The face becoming softer, forehead, eyes, jaws. The depth, the breath flowing more freely, maybe more deeply. And with that, a feeling of uplift in the heart area, and maybe softness in the belly. Don't take what I say as imperatives. Just check whether you get a slight sense in that direction. And also check whether your thighs are somehow tense, or whether you can relax in that area as well, allowing the feet or the calves, depending on how you sit, to really rest on the ground. Maybe go a few times slowly with the breathing, up and down the body, to ventilate any sense of tension. So not that you kind of push it out, it's more that we can notice that the breath has a quality which allows tension to disperse to a certain degree. And there's still a kind of some tension needed to sit upright. But the more that comes from kind of the energy which arises or flows into us from the ground, the more lightness there is, the more softness in the uprightness. The more subtle responses in the body, how the body moves, how the chest widens or kind of sinks back again, how the belly responds. In-breath, out-breath is different. Sense of spaciousness. Sense of firmness. Maybe a certain comfort or joy. Just from finding this inner balance and inner space. And it's a space filled with awareness. The awareness of subtle changes and flows, rhythm. free of judgment. And we can actually engage the thinking process in a very tuned-in way. So we can ask ourselves, how does it feel? And whatever your answer is, it may be in words and it may not be in words. It may just, when I talk now about it, it's in words, but the feeling you may have is just a feeling of subtle comfort, subtle peace, or joy. Sense of groundedness. Just notice. And it may feel different when you feel into your forehead. Or your upper chest. Or into the stomach area. Or into the back. Or into the feet. You can experiment with asking this question, what is happening there? In whatever area of the body you can be aware of. What is happening here? And then just evaluate. gently. It's like this. And now it's like that. You may come across some pain, too much eaten. Don't criticize yourself, just whatever it is, just notice. And notice it with a sense of benevolence and care. Breathe, make space around it. Be open to feel without trying to change anything. It's like this. You can wish it well. Our ability to wish ourselves well is a very important strength. And even if it's just to wish our painful knee well, instead of getting uptight around it. May you be well. when we can truly wish ourselves well, from that ability flows the well-wishing to others. It's not an effort, it's just a sharing of our humanity, having bodies which sometimes hurt. And at the same time I can feel if I don't get lost in worries, the openness of the heart can still be there, the lightness. The ability to feel pleasant feelings at the same time. Well, we focus. If I focus on pleasant feeling, I feel the pleasant feeling. And maybe that's the resource from where well-wishing can flow to that part which doesn't feel so well. Or to others who may experience pain. Because if we don't get lost in trying to change things and make them right and controlling them, life is much lighter. And the awareness of good and bad, embracing good and bad, gives us a different perspective, a more open perspective. And more joy. A deeper understanding of the human condition. If we understand that the awareness itself is not affected by pleasant and unpleasant, but is aware of it, there's a growing sense of freedom. And a growing sense of choice to focus awareness on something which is beneficial.